I cannot begin to describe the burn happening right now. It's unlike any other that you will feel. None of that out there compares to this burn. Take them words to the bank. In the first 60 seconds of our video, you saw the 6x6 for the chest press. Honestly, not too bad. And I'd like for us to know that all 3 of those chest presses were replacements for my 3 chest exercises that I normally do right now. They are the bench press, the dumbbell fly, and standard bodyweight push-ups to failure. The bench press is about 315 for 3 to 5 reps, 3 sets. Dumbbell flies are 70 pounds for about 8 to 10 reps. And the push-ups, again, till failure. For the bicep exercises, we're doing preacher curls with the easy curl bar, preacher curls with dumbbells, 100 pounds for the easy curl preacher bar, and 65 pounds for the dumbbell preacher curl. Lastly, our incline hammer curls, so I can get some more forearm work in addition to our gripper machine down in the basement. And this setup has been working very well for me. I've been working out for 15 years and I pretty much have meal prep down to a T. And as a personal trainer, I've taught the basics of meal prep to many clients over the years. But I understand not everybody wants to go through all that. And with Factor 75, we can skip the prep with no mess. Factor cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so meals come together in minutes, taking the guesswork out of what to make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Factor even offers meals for those looking to follow keto, low-calorie, or vegan and vegetarian lifestyles. Whether we're performing isometrics or any other type of exercise, if we're not fueling our body correctly, we're only gonna be able to produce a fraction of the power we normally could have. Fitness starts with food, and Factor makes it possible for you to achieve your daily goals through nutritious, purposeful eating, ingredients with integrity, and dietitian approved. We have more than 27 meal options each week. Meal plans range from 4 to 18 meals per week. You can add more or reduce the number depending on your specific needs. You can easily mod these food preferences and skip a week if you want. Honestly, what I love about Factor is that it helps us avoid fast food and ordering in. With delicious food that's ready quickly, Factor's chef-prepared meals take the guesswork out of eating well, so you never have to opt out for something that isn't good for you. The meals arrive pre-prepared and ready to eat in 2 minutes or less, even faster than ordering in. And now you can get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life using my link. That means you can choose 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for every order while you're an active subscriber. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Is this the most adequate replacement for those exercises? I would say probably not, but thinking about it on the fly, I thought it was a decent substitute. Now you're going to start to see very quickly that this burn and these bicep curls added up in a way that I just didn't even consider, because the only other times my arms ever felt like this was when I first started lifting 15 years ago and during the Ironman Dragon Door workout, which you can find here. Other than those 2 times in my lifting history, my arms have been sore, but never to this extent. And I just wanted to throw that out there, and we're gonna get back to the chest stuff now. But I wanted to mention that because you're gonna start to see my facial expression change, I would say fairly rapidly. How I felt after those 18 6x6s for chest press, because I did low, mid, and high position, is about what I thought. I felt it was a bit shoulder heavy. My shoulders started to catch on fire right around the beginning of the mid position 6x6s. So second round of 6x6s. If you go back to the beginning of the video, you can actually see some of my numbers were in the hundreds. And when I do 1x6 on chest press, I'm averaging high 290s to low 300s now. But of course, there's no way that we're gonna be able to continually produce peak force throughout the entire exercise. The numbers will start to go down if we are producing maximal force rep after rep after rep. There's just no way we're gonna be able to produce peak force continually. Think of it like when we're in the weight room. There's no way set 3 is going to feel the same as set 1. Set 1, you're not cruising, but you know, it's a lot easier because you're fresh. Set 3, you've already been through 2 sets of work, so it's gonna be tougher for set 3. Same thing applies here. My triceps were, I would say, fairly activated. My chest, not so much, and the reason why is because it kept slipping a little bit down my shirt and I couldn't really maintain proper positioning the entire time, with the strap slipping towards my sternum pretty much every time, but the numbers weren't heavily skewed. In retrospect, if I had taken more time to think about this, I would have set up the Isomax chest press on an actual bench since there were plenty of them there, and then I wouldn't have had that issue. That being said, it was pretty good, and now here comes the bicep curl. Now this was the killer, the absolute murderer of this entire workout, which took about 50 minutes, by the way. Maximal tension is an entirely different beast. Now, we just switched from a compound exercise that's working chest, shoulder, and tris to an isolated exercise, which is just the biceps. Not to mention the biceps don't take up a lot of real estate in the body versus the chest, and so that waste product buildup and the burn happened very quickly. In fact, I had to sit down before I started one of my rounds of 6x6 because the burn was that intense. I loved it, but in the heat of the moment, I'm not gonna lie, squad, it just sucked. But I knew it was working. So while I was sitting down, one of the things that I was thinking about was the maximal tension that Paul Wade mentioned in his isometric manual and how it's different than dynamic movement because we do lose some tension at the bottom and the top of each dynamic rep for bicep curl. But that's just simply not the case with overcoming isometric bicep curls. The tension was there and it just would not go away. And I couldn't exert minimal effort. I wanted to make sure I got the most out of my workout because I wanted to try and match my dynamic lifts as best as I possibly could. And I have to say that after I finished this workout that night, there's just no way that anything in the realm of effort was skipped. It has been months since I've done any type of 6x6, so my body wasn't really ready for what I was about to do that night. I know you couldn't see it, but I was saying pretty much every swear word imaginable in my mind during that entire bicep curl session. During a couple of the lifts on the last set, it did almost feel like my bicep was gonna lock up like it did in the Iron Man video. So there were times where I just had to stop real quick and I went over the 20 seconds of rest time that I was supposed to adhere to. But overall, I was very pleased with how I felt post-workout. And I didn't have to worry about putting any excess pressure on my right foot, which as of this recording feels a lot better, just needed some rest time. Now, what you don't see after this video finished is that I was totally spent and I had to sit down for another 15 minutes before I left the gym and headed home. I could barely move my arms. My shoulders were still on fire from the chest press, by the way, but biceps even more so. I tried putting on my jacket, I couldn't. All the while with this like semi-sadistic smile on my face, so I probably look crazy to some of the gym goers in there. And I was so impressed, I decided to swap one of my bicep exercises for the 6x6 moving forward for my chest and bicep days where I do dynamic work. Not that 6x6 was some type of revelation because I've done them many times before, but at this point in my training, getting a nice balance of strength and hypertrophy, which is exactly what the 6x6 offers, is what I'm looking for. Best part, after everything was done, the next day I wasn't sore at all because of the Fen effect. And if you're not familiar with the Fen effect, here's a video right here so you can go check that out. As isometrics are a bit different than dynamic as far as how it affects the body post-workout. Now, as impressed as I was with that 6x6, I still am not going to completely substitute my dynamic lifts as one, I enjoy them, and two, I still love how my 1x6 routine that I perform for 6 to 8 minutes, 6 days a week, synergizes with my dynamic lifts. So I don't want to mess with the programming that I set up. But for our newer viewers, there was a time where I did try for 1 month to sacrifice all my dynamic lifts for just overcoming isometrics. And if you want to know how that went, here's a link right here, and I'll see you there.